Hello, and welcome to the Wine Enthusiast Podcast, your serving of drinks culture and the people who drive it. I'm Samantha Setti, web producer at Wine Enthusiast. We're trying something new on the podcast. Starting in the new year, you're going to be hearing from all Wine Enthusiast editors. We're an eclectic team with various passions within the drink space that we hope continue to generate exciting conversations for your enjoyment. Is there a topic you want us to cover? A person you want us to interview? Be sure to email us at podcast@wineenthusiast.net. We'd love to know. We also want to thank JC Tops for all her contributions to Wine Enthusiast. In this episode, she talks to Issa Rae about her new line of Prosecco in partnership with E&J Gallo Winery. The Calling is a dream collection of California wines offering a distinct range of varietals, styles, and best-in-class appellations. Winemaker James McPhail gives each wine a clear, singular voice, working with renowned family growers to craft Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Cabernet Sauvignon, while collecting over 70 90-plus scores in the process. Join one of the Calling's fully customizable wine clubs for first access to new releases, special library vintages, and more. With 4 membership options, there's a club for every wine lover. Receive 3 shipments per year, or try the monthly subscription, delivering 3 bottles a month straight to your door. For information and access, visit us at www.thecallingwine.com/enthusiast.
Hi, I'm JC Tops, editor here at Wine Enthusiast. I'm sitting down today with Issa Rae. From the web series Awkward Black Girl and the HBO series Insecure to the blockbuster hit movie Barbie, Issa Rae has been acting, writing, producing, and creating for over a decade. And now, the Golden Globe-nominated actress has a Prosecco label. Welcome, Issa. I'm so glad you can join us today.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
So I can't tell you how excited I am that you are here because I have felt seen ever since you came on the scene, and I want to let you know that I am honored.
You felt seen in the sense that you're an awkward person as well?
Yes, because I too pretend like I'm in a music video when I'm by myself.
Hey man, that's the only way to do it, I've discovered. You're amongst family.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your new label, ViaraeWines.
Thank you.
Let's jump right in. So I would love to hear about the first time you actually had Prosecco.
Yes, the first time I remember having Prosecco was when I went out with our pilot director, Melina Matsukis, before we shot Insecure. So we got picked up to shoot this pilot. It had taken us forever to find a director, like several months. And when we finally found her, she wanted to take me out to a get to know you dinner, took me out to sushi at like Matsuhisa, which was already really fancy to me. And he ordered a glass of Prosecco, and I was intrigued. Like I had no idea what it was. And then I ordered one too, and it became my signature drink ever since.
So, what about Prosecco intrigued you? Like, what style were you drinking at the time, and what style do you like now?
At the time, I mean, I was drinking whatever was being served at that restaurant, but it was more about that particular moment and how I felt. It felt like the beginning of a beautiful relationship. It felt like the beginning of my career. I didn't know how much my life was about to change, but it was an opportunity to celebrate when I felt like I hadn't celebrated in a long time. And like Prosecco was at the center of that drink. And from that moment forward, anytime I felt good, anytime I felt like celebrating with family or friends, Prosecco would mark those moments for me. And so I also appreciated that it wasn't champagne because champagne still felt too fancy to me. Like,
Hmm.
oh, you drink champagne when like you're really doing it. So it still approachable in a way where it was like, oh, this feels kind of down to earth, and that I still have ways to go. So it feels like the drink that I can pick up where it's not too sweet like Moscato and not too brute like champagne, and it's like then I can just lounge and drink it anytime.
So, is that what inspired you to create your own label? Because you wanted to share that with other people?
I did. So I actually put it. Well, the writers wrote my character in the show to love prosecco as well, because I would always bring in the writers room like, we popping prosecco, we cracked the story beat, time to celebrate. So they wrote the character. Sometimes whenever I say things like offhandedly, I find that my character would coincidentally say those same things or like them too. So they made my character love prosecco. And so as the episodes aired, people started to try it. My character loved prosecco with a splash of whiskey initially, which is what I liked. And I found people were writing me like, "Oh, I tried that. I like it." And then when it changed to prosecco with vodka, people were trying that. And when I discovered that people were trying prosecco because of me, it made me want to have kind of my own to put my stamp on. And that's what inspired me to create this particular label.
Awesome. So, like, the fans of Insecure know about the whiskey and the vodka. Is that how you enjoy your prosecco? Is that art imitating life or life imitating art?
Art imitating life. Yeah, I announced to the room, I was like, yo, I am kind of too grown for whiskey and prosecco now, so now I started drinking vodka, and I really liked it. And so that became her drink of choice as well. And you know what? Actually, I discovered it when we went to before we shot season 4. We went on a little Palm Springs writers retreat, and there was this bar that served this like I want to say it was a vodka French 75, which is not a French 75 if it's vodka, but it had rosemary in it as well, and it was delicious. And so I tried to make it at home and failed. I was just like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna do vodka and prosecco together, and that's how it's actually delicious by itself. But I'm still trying to replicate that rosemary syrup. Uh,
I love rosemary and like infused anything.
so it's perfect. It really is.
Can you speak to the involvement? How involved were you in the process of making VRA?
I mean, very, like that it had to be specific to my taste. There were, tons of questions about what I was looking for, what I like, just even in flavor profiles, what notes. And I'm not a wine expert by any means. I just, for the most part, know what I like. And so, because of that, and because I didn't necessarily have the language to communicate what I wanted, it involved a lot of testing, conversations, and then translating and interpreting what I was looking for. And so even before working with Gallo, I had been tasting different Prosecco's at different companies, trying to narrow down what that taste was, like something that I wouldn't get tired of, something that I can enjoy leisurely and that also felt, shareable, and that would play well with other cocktails. So extremely involved, in short.
Yeah, I mean, and I like the way that you said, that it plays well with other cocktails because it's like that makes it more approachable.
Absolutely. And, you have to consider that sometimes you may want a glass of Prosecco, but sometimes you may want to do it a bit more. And other people, like, I think the mixed drink bag it's such a sociable practice. Now that I've had my own home bar, I love to experiment. And so to be able to have a base to experiment with, like, oh, what can go well? What can I make with Prosecco and tequila? What works with Prosecco and rum is very exciting.
Where can you find the best gifts at great low prices that everyone will love? A Total Wine and More, of course. With so many great bottles to choose from, find something for everyone on your list, whether it's a Cabernet for your sis, sparkling wine for a coworker, or a single barrel bourbon for dad. And if you need any help, just ask one of our friendly guides for advice. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
So now that you are a part of the wine industry, has anything about the industry surprised you?
I mean that there's such a rich community. Just even going to New York to meet actual wine experts and enthusiasts, finding the community around just even talking about wine, and I just didn't know how strong it was. Like, I guess I knew that there were wine experts and sommeliers and things like that, but there's such a a community of just people who fell into it and started businesses. And so it made it less intimidating to me, where it's like, oh, everyone doesn't just automatically enter this industry knowing what they're talking about fully. It starts with a passion, of course, and not necessarily an expertise. And it made me feel more comfortable being amongst them.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely can see that. Well, so unfortunately, there's only a handful of Black women, right, who own wine brands. And I've been lucky enough to have the opportunity to actually interview them here at Wine Enthusiasts, like the McBride sisters and Marvina Robinson, who owns her own champagne label. It's already intimidating to like start a new business. Do you feel like it's more intimidating as a Black woman to succeed? Do you feel more pressure to succeed as a Black woman?
I always look for areas where we're not present because I do feel like we can do anything and do many things well. So it's never intimidating to approach it because I have a why not mentality. I'm like, okay, well, why have we been kind of excluded from these places, or why aren't we more actively present in these spaces? I think if I looked more into it, I might be discouraged and scared away. So I love to go in impulsive and just be like, well, yeah, let's try it. And then look back and be like, damn, there's not many of us. I spoke to McBride Sisters first when I was looking to, launch a Prosecco. Ultimately they were looking for more of a sparkling wine, and Prosecco for me was really, really like what I was looking to
Hmm.
because of the story. And so I even met up with them once we launched, and they just the insight that they have around the industry, and talking to them about like the international approach, and just there's just so much to learn, but they're so willing to share it, and I love that about Black women in these communities. It's very rare that we are hoarders of information trying to step on each other to rise. It's always communal, and there were so many Black women at the event that I went to who were either wine enthusiasts or wine experts or winemakers. And that was so refreshing. So no matter how small, the community just feels big by way of the sharing of information.
Yeah, I agree. So obviously you feel that representation matters, but why does representation matter in the beverage industry? I mean, how important is it?
I've seen even with ViaraeWines, the way that people have embraced this Prosecco in particular is so fulfilling because they're posing with their friends, or posing at home when they're away from their children, like, this is mommy's wine time, this is mommy juice time. Like, the way that we show up for things that represent us authentically, it makes it all worthwhile, honestly, because there's nothing like feeling like you're being spoken to and you're being specifically targeted in a genuine way. And I think that makes all the difference.
Yeah. I mean, I love to hear that. What are you pairing Viore Prosecco with? Like, what are you eating when you're drinking it?
I still drink prosecco with sushi. Like, I just had sugarfish and prosecco the other day. Naturally Italian food. I'm a big branzino girl. But yeah, I mean, you could really. I'm saying like mostly seafoods right now, but it can really go with anything. You can have a steak in Viore. You can have a rotisserie chicken, which is also my favorite basic go-to meal. I'm always gonna get a half rotisserie chicken. It's very well seasoned from anywhere, and
Of course.
right.
It has to be very well seasoned.
And it actually pisses me off when people just serve it like as is in a way, which is disrespectful.
It's so disrespectful. Like, why?
Just shut your restaurant down, please. But yeah, it really is. It's kind of just up to you. When I say that it pairs and plays well with others, I do mean that. I would broaden that out to your taste in food too.
Okay. So, if you could enjoy a bottle of Viore with anyone, alive or dead, who would that be and why?
Hmm. It's so weird, but just Tupac came to mind. I love him
Ooh,
so
that's a
much,
good one.
and he's associated with my memories of moving back to LA, and I feel like I didn't fully appreciate him as an artist and as just a very attractive man until it was he was just so young, and idealistic. you know.
Yeah.
He had so many great ideas to help his community and to lessen the wealth gap in America. Like he was just full of the optimism for how things could be changed and resentment for like the disenfranchisement of others, and also just cool and funny. So like yes, I would happily share a bottle with him.
With Tupac, yeah. I love that answer. I want to hear him rap like after having a bottle of Gatorade.
The first time we've heard him rap after having a bottle either. Like I feel like that just comes naturally to him. I'm sure he was, I'm sure he liked a drink or two to get him in the zone for his raps.
Exactly. um, does President Barbie drink Prosecco?
That's a good question. I don't know if there's alcohol in Barbie Land. I would imagine.
What?
I know. I don't know if there is. Like, I don't think the Barbies know what getting drunk is. I think that's a real world thing. I don't know. I think that they have non-alcoholic prosecco for sure.
Oh, that's a thing. Yeah, that sounds good.
And yes, that's what she has. She's very, very focused on work and doesn't want to lounge, which I think prosecco affords you the opportunity to do. So she's more like a non-alcoholic prosecco, just for the bubbles, just for the bright bubbles.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, she has to stay focused. There's a lot to do.
Yeah.
Issa, I have one last question for you.
Sure.
When you are not drinking Prosecco, what's in your glass? What are you drinking?
What am I drinking when I'm not drinking
When,
prosecco?
when you're not drinking Prosecco,
Do you mean like anything?
anything,
Like
tomato juice, whatever.
so boring, but sparkling water with freshly squeezed lemon is just my drink of choice in the evening and in the morning. Coffee all day, every day. That's it.
With coffee?
I drink coffee and then like black, and then later in the morning I'll have like an almond milk latte. And
Okay. Okay. I'm shocked, but okay.
you're shocked? Why?
I'm shocked. Just no judgment, no judgment.
What's your drink when you're not, what's your non-alcoholic drink? No, I'm
Oh,
curious.
orange juice, my non-alcoholic
Oh,
drink.
that's fair. That's so healthy and like, oh, vitamin C. Oh, you're
That's exactly why I'm drinking is for vitamin C.
I'm not a juice drinker or a soda drinker, but like orange juice is great and goes well with prosecco. So
Okay, that's the perfect answer. Issa, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations again on your Prosecco. It's been a pleasure.
likewise, thank you so much for having me.
Champagne and Prosecco definitely have their own vibes, but no one can argue against the versatility of sparkling wine. Whether mixed with whiskey or vodka or paired with fish, you decide how best to enjoy it. Email us at podcast@wineenthusiast.net and tell us what you like to mix or pair with sparkling wine, and we might just share it on the podcast. We love hearing from you and appreciate your support. Please rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts, and remember to visit us at wineenthusiast.com for content and products that bring your love of wine to life. A special thank you to JC Tops and Issa Rae for this fun discussion. Next month, I'll be chatting with Dan Buettner about the connection between blue zones and longevity and what wine has to do with all of it. Until then, happy holidays from the Wine Enthusiast family, and stay well. In addition to producing world-class content, did you know that Wine Enthusiast is also the premier shopping destination for wine lifestyle products? Just visit our shop at wineenthusiast.com, where you'll discover an amazing assortment of unique quality items guaranteed to enhance your wine experience. From glassware and accessories to thousands of unique wine gifts, it's like a toy store for wine lovers. And don't forget about protecting your wine. We are the nation's leading retailer of wine storage products. Whether you have 6 or 600 bottles, desire a wine cabinet, or a custom-designed wine room, Our free wine storage consultations will help you find the perfect fit for your collection. Visit wineenthusiast.com today. We bring wine to life. Brought to you by the Wine Enthusiast Shop.